Welcome to the 30-minute hour. It's the weekly podcast where we discuss business, sports, politics, and whatever's on our mind. I'm your host, Eric Twiggs, your procrastination prevention partner. Joining me as always, you know him as the business strategist extraordinaire, the super CEO, and all-around good guy, Bells.
Happy 100th episode, man.
Happy 100th. This is a special occasion.
Wow.
This is the 100th episode of the 30-minute hour podcast.
Unbelievable. 100 episodes. And we haven't gotten tired of each other yet.
Not yet. It's getting there, Ted. But
or not enough to quit. Man.
Just keep going anyway.
Man, it's been a pleasure. Man.
Absolutely. Now 100 episodes.
Wow.
Time just goes. So you know this is a special episode, Ted.
Absolutely.
When we change platforms altogether.
That's how you do it.
Exactly. We just completely change platforms. So normally we go through Zoom and all of that good stuff. Today we're using StreamYard.
Wow.
Shout out to the StreamYard team. And not only are we using StreamYard, we're broadcasting on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube all at the same time.
Wow. So for those people that say, oh man, well, I'm not on Facebook, so I can't check you out. Oh, you got the internet, don't you?
Exactly.
You can check us out on something.
It's at this point, Ted, if you don't know, you don't want to know.
You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
And so I want to show love to the Instagram people as well. Shout out to those of you that are watching me on IGTV right about now. So that's 4 platforms that we're broadcasting on.
Wow. Big time.
I mean, it's Ted. It's the 100th episode. You just can't do things like you normally would do.
No.
I can see if it was episode 99 or 97, right. 34.
Then you do it the same way you normally do it. But we got to do a little different for the 100th episode.
That's right. This is, as you can see, this is not your everyday podcast.
No. If you don't know by now, 100 episodes in, that we just do it a little different here.
Absolutely. And you can catch us on all of these different platforms we just mentioned: Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and you can also go to the podcasting platform. We're on Spotify and anywhere else you like to get your podcast. There you'll find us. And as we always do, I want to talk about the What Now movement and what we've got going there. Don't forget, we've got What Now University. This week, we're doing something that's called Coffee and Conversations.
Woo. Bring your own coffee.
That's right. Bring your coffee. That's right. It's virtual. I would put it out there. It's virtual. This is a virtual event called Coffee and Conversations, and this is where we talk about what we're doing and answer a lot of the questions that we get all the time as it relates to the What Now movement, as it relates to What Now University. Why did we start? What's our background? Who are the new additions to the team? So those are all the questions that we get to answer. So definitely check us out. It's this coming Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. It's called Coffee and Conversation. It'll be within the What Now movement Facebook group. And I see we have a comment from somebody we know, Anissa Freeman Jones. Shout out to you. Thank you for watching us. She says congratulations, and she said y'all are fancy.
Oh, we fancy. Oh yeah.
Anissa, this is the 100th episode. We had to do things a little different.
That's right.
All right. Good stuff. So Ted.
Yes, Eric.
I've got something that's on my mind.
Please share, Eric.
All right. So today I want to talk to you about the key that will unlock your 100th episode.
The key that will unlock your 100th episode.
That's right. That's right. The key that will unlock your 100th episode. So, like, this was a big goal of ours to get to 100 shows. You may have another goal, but this is the key to unlock it. The key is the same. So this is where you lean in. So my favorite Indiana Jones movie, it was called The Last Crusade. Right, Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones, and Sean Connery played his dad. You may remember that one. So Indiana Jones, he was in hot pursuit of the Holy Grail, and he was following this map and making progress towards his goal. He had reached this point in his journey where he could see where the Grail was hidden. He could see his goal, Ted. His goal was in sight. There was just one big problem. So the Holy Grail was on the other side of this deep abyss. It looked like it was like a bottomless pit. So this pit was between him and his goal. Right? He didn't know what he was going to do. He had to make a choice. So he could play it safe and stay on his side of the cliff, or move forward as the map was guiding him. The map was telling him to move across this bottomless pit. It just didn't make any sense. It was hard to figure out. So he pressed forward. He decided he was going to press forward. He raised his foot in the air, and suddenly, just when it seemed like he was about to fall to his death, his foot landed on this invisible bridge. Right. All of a sudden, it landed on an invisible bridge, and as he kept moving, the walkway became visible in front of him. Right. So every time he took a step, he could see the next step, and then he went on and made it to the other side. So here is the key to unlocking your 100th episode. All right, Ted. So you know how we do. This is the part where, like, if you're driving, you just need to pull over to the side of the road. That's right. If you're in the gym, you just need to press pause on the treadmill. Anything else they should do, Ted, before we
put the ham sandwich down? You've been eating that ham sandwich. I don't care how good it is. This is the time to put the ham sandwich down.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's been 99 episodes. You've been eating that ham sandwich. You need to put the ham sandwich down.
Ham sandwich Monday. You don't eat anything else but ham sandwiches on Monday.
Exactly. So here's the key. The key to unlocking your 100th episode, it's taking the first step. That's right. It's taking the first step. Here's how Dr. King put it. Dr. Martin Luther King, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. He said that faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase.
But give them that one more. Give them that one more time, Eric.
Yeah, absolutely. Faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase.
Wow.
You got to take the first step.
That's right.
And I really, that's like one of my favorite Dr. King quotes. But one thing I've discovered is that it is truly impossible. I don't care what you do. I don't care how hard you work. You can't get to a 100th episode without doing the first one.
You got to get the first one.
Right.
You don't just skip to the 100th episode. You got to do the first one.
Absolutely. You have to do the first episode. And Ted, let's think about it, right? How easy would it have been for you and I to be like, look, I'm not a millennial.
That's right.
I'm not a techie.
That's right.
You know, I already got a lot to do. You know, how are we going to do this? We can't do this podcast thing. This thing looks impossible.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk it? Right.
And so, Ted, let's share this with the people. Did we go to the podcast 101 class before we got started?
No.
Did we read the How to Be a Podcaster book?
No.
Did we Google what does a podcaster do?
No.
Actually, that might not have been a bad idea, Ted.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying
right.
We didn't do it.
Hey, look. These are things that may be a good idea for you to do. I'm just telling you what we did or what we didn't do.
Not even a podcast like business plan, like none of that.
No. We literally myself, Ted, Britton Smith. Shout out to Britton Smith, who was on the original 30-minute hour team. We had Sean Summers. We had Gary Johnson, and we met in your office, and we said, let's give this a try.
Let's do it, man. Let's just set up a mic, record it, and just do it.
Yeah, we had Gary, our resident millennial, who said, "Oh man, yeah, it's simple. All you got to do, you put it on your phone." Okay, cool. Let's do that, and that's what we did.
Mm.
So again, I mean, the real takeaway is whatever your version of the 100th episode is. If it's getting your book completed, if it's launching your business, take the first step. That's the big takeaway from this whole thing. And yeah, we just kept it going. You know, we had our first episode where it was just the fellas talking, you know, like we normally do when we're not on a podcast with international reach. You know,
at a sports bar with wings. We didn't have any wings. We weren't at a sports bar, just sitting around the table, just a couple fellas just chopping it up about whatever.
Absolutely. So we got to episode number 2, right? So episode number 2 comes along. We had Tiffany Deans. Tiffany Deans goes in the record books as being the first official guest on the 30-minute hour podcast.
Wow. Shout out to Tiffany Deans.
Hopefully you're watching. But she is our first official guest. And she's the founder of Harco Solutions. And she had the great example of taking that first step. I don't know if you recall, Ted, but she was at one point, she was working her good government job, and she felt led to start her own business. You know, she felt led to start her own HR consulting company. And again, she didn't go out and Google and do all this other stuff. She started.
Yeah.
And now she's doing very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing story. Just one of the many, many examples of people that just have been on the show that just took that first step.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's you bring up a good point, Tim. I mean, one of the things that amazes me about our podcast experience, if we look at some of our earlier guests, you look at where they were when we were talking to them, and you look at them like where they are now.
Amazing.
They're on like a completely different level.
Amazing.
You know, I mean, one person that comes to mind is Chantel.
Unbelievable.
Chantel Powell.
Where she was the first episode, you know, and you could just give our listeners just a backdrop on where she was in the first episode.
Yeah, so she was just launching this concept, right? It was the organic deodorant. She said she was in the car. She's a mother, and her son came back from playing basketball, and he smelled like a grown man. And she was like, "Look, we got to do something about this. You smell like a grown man, and you're not a grown man." So she was looking for alternatives, you know, like, you know, safe, organic alternatives, but couldn't find them. So she started experimenting and creating her own. So she came up with this deodorant called Play Pits. Right. And it was, and at the time it was moving. You know, you could see when she sat in her office, you could see she was going somewhere.
Oh yeah.
You know, she wasn't scared. She had this confidence. She was like, "We're gonna make this thing happen." But
Little did we know. Did we know.
Yeah, so Ted, tell the people. I mean, we had her on again on one of our later episodes. Where is she now?
Man, she opened up a warehouse in Atlanta. She's pushing out so much product per day, per week, and there's other different product lines that she has going on. Just amazing, and just this amazing following that she has in social media. Every time she posts something, you see hundreds of thousands of views and likes, and just really just her business is just really skyrocketing. And you know, and we're just proud to just say that she was one of our initial guests.
For sure. But I think, I mean, she's a classic example of what happens when you know, you're not overthinking it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you're not trying to overanalyze. You take the step.
Yeah.
You know, you take the step, and you know, if you make mistakes, you learn from the mistake, and you keep it going. But no, I mean, she was a great example of that. And then Ted, so another great example that comes to mind as I'm looking back through some of our previous episodes was episode number 32, when we had Chris Thomas. You know,
Comedian. Oh yeah.
Chris Thomas, the comedian extraordinaire. Some of you may remember him. He was the mayor of Rap City back in the day. He actually was a mentor to Dave Chappelle and some of these other famous comedians, but he's very well known. And that was a hilarious episode. It was just out of control.
Oh yeah.
Out of control. And that was about what were you born to do? It felt like he was born to do stand-up comedy, and so again, he just kept taking steps.
Wow.
You know, and he did this improv and open mics, and now he's this big time person. He's on the radio to this day. Yeah, I mean, it's been something as we go through these 100 episodes. Something else I think about, and this was critical. This was episode number 48. We had Dr. Sharon H. Porter.
Dr. Porter. Dr. Sharon.
That's right. Of the I Am Dr. Sharon show. She was our guest, and that was literally a game-changing episode.
Oh yeah.
Because that's when we actually started thinking about working together, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Sharon had these shows, and she had all these great things she was doing. She had a magazine. Matter of fact, she came on our show to promote her Vision and Purpose magazine, right? The theme of the show was all about vision and purpose and getting clear, then getting started from there. And then we said, you know what? We all need to work together.
That's what I said. Let's have a conference, and we'll bring all these people together and all these great ideas, and we're gonna pick some location to do it, and people are gonna come all around the world, and it's just this power summit. We had it all planned out, and then the pandemic hit.
Absolutely. Right. And so we said, you know, we still want to work together. I know it's a pandemic, but there's got to be a way that we can still work together. And we asked this question that stays with us. We said, what now? I know it's a pandemic. What now? I know we can't meet in a conference room and get 1,000 people like we were thinking about, but what now?
What now?
Right. And that was the start of the What Now movement.
Wow.
Absolutely. So that was a pivotal episode. And then, so the last episode we had in your office. So Ted, why don't you tell the people how we used to, let's break it down. How did we used to do the podcast, Ted?
I think we used to meet first initially. I think we were meeting on Sundays, and then we moved it to Monday evenings. And we come into my office, and we sit around a table. We had Trey Young would record us.
Yep.
Right, and we'd take the video and post it, and we'd use our cell phones and capture all that. We'd work together in a room, and we did that, and that's how we did it every Monday. That was our thing until the pandemic hit. And the interesting thing about that also was that initially, most of the guests that we had were people that we knew.
Yep.
And so once things changed and we had to go virtual with this, where some may have seen that as just a major letdown, or some may have said, hey, we're going to stop the podcast until things open up.
So wait a minute, you can get back to normal.
When they get back to normal. Right. Yeah. But what we did was we pivoted, right? The word of the year, right? And from there, we decided we're going to do it virtually. And it just opened up what the world of guests. And right now, I mean, we just have guests backed up. We've had guests from the UK, Canada. I mean, Eric, please talk about some of the guests we've had.
Like Ted said, UK, Canada, Australia. I've got people just from Jamaica, from just all around the world that are asking to be on the podcast or that have been on the podcast. So I think this has been truly a game changer, and I just think it's a lesson that I think when you face a crisis, it's so important that you focus on what you can do and not on what you can't do. Right.
Oh yeah.
Because I think when you run into a crisis, it forces you to be innovative. Right. It forces you to be creative. You can't do things like you used to do them.
You think outside of the box, or you think as if there is no box.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it did. And now we're constantly having people that reach out to us that we don't know, with several potential guests that would like to be on our show. The guys that one moment were just deciding how do you even get this going, and now we have guests lined up months out.
Absolutely. But again, and I don't know that would be the case had it not been for the pandemic, right? Yeah. As crazy as that sounds, because we would have probably been recording it and doing the same old thing.
It was also before the pandemic. Every week we're like, you got a guest in mind, and you have so many friends that you can interview, right? So we just started doubling up on people.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say, I think we wore out the Hampton connection, the Kappa connection.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we had enough Omegas on, but
we had more than enough Omegas on.
We had one or two Omegas. Speaking of which,
one or 10.
Okay. And shout out to F. William Samuel,
another guy,
my chapter bruh, my frat from Hampton University. He was actually our first Omega guest. So let the record show. Shout out to F. William. But you're right though. It was our close connections, right?
Oh yeah.
Now it's people we will never see in life.
I have no idea who these people are that we're interviewing, but just learning so much from each guest. And I mean, that's just the phenomenal part. I mean, we get the benefit along with our viewers to just take in this information from all these just people that's doing great things worldwide. And the interesting thing about it is, from wherever in the country, whatever race, I mean, there's just some similarities, Eric, I'm sure you'll agree, in everyone, right? That kind of, hey, they're going to take that first step. They're not going to let anything hold them back. They're resourceful. They're innovative. I mean, you just see that characteristic. And you wonder if everyone has that initially, or is that something that happens once you take the first step? Because there's no going back at that point.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing. When you have international guests, you see that a lot of the challenges are the same.
Yeah.
Right. And one of the things with the international guests, I think we mentioned this on one of the shows, is that we all have the pandemic in common.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So and some of them are in deeper lockdown situations than we're in, and they've got governments where it's like you have to stay in the house. The police are coming to make sure you're in the house. Right. You pay a fine if you don't wear your mask. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So hopefully, and like I said, I'll give you some of the specific episode numbers. I know many of you that are watching us right now want to go back and check out some of those episodes that we're making reference to. But so interestingly enough, again, the Dr. Vanessa Perry, we said, was the last in-studio guest we had. And the title of that episode was Making the Best of a Bad Situation.
Wow.
And little did we know.
Wow.
That we would have to put that into practice.
And I was telling you, Eric, earlier, the interesting thing about that is Dr. Perry had visited our office today. And that's just so Just amazing that on the 100th episode, she was in the office.
Yeah, fantastic. We could have had her do a special cameo.
That's right.
Yeah,
Next time.
yeah. But shout out to Dr. Perry, and she's been very active in the What Now movement. And has done some of her Wellness Wednesday sessions in there. So our first virtual episode was episode number 50. Joanne Victoria, she's an author and a coach. She was our first virtual guest, and yeah, that was a powerful episode. But Ted, one of the episodes that really stands out for me is that January 1st episode that we did. That's right, New Year's Day. Ted and I, go back and check it out. We did an episode. It was called 3 Powerful Truths About Your New Year's Resolutions. It's very important that you go check that out. It's episode number 89. We talked about some specific things. And one of the things is that after in January, it's like you're so excited about your goals and you're on fire. You're going to make it happen. The gym is packed. But then around, March 8th, things can change, around March the 8th.
All of a sudden, you can't find your gym card.
Right.
Man.
So it's so important, one of the things we talked about is just really making sure you keep your goals in front of you at all times and keep that momentum going. That's important. But go back and check that episode out. Episode number 89, 3 Powerful Truths About Your New Year's Resolutions. And then, so we talked about these international guests. We need to step back a little bit because our first international guest was a guy by the name of Phil Palucha. He's from Liverpool, England. He was our first international guest, and we had to change the time around because it's like a 7-hour time difference, and if we did it at our normal time, it would have been like 1 o'clock in the morning for him.
So we had to adjust for Phil.
Right, we adjusted for Phil. That was episode number 84. I mean, he is an exceptional guy. I would definitely go back and check him out. His episode was about the cheat code that you need to succeed. That was Phil's episode. So definitely you want to make sure you go back and check it out. He really, really left some powerful nuggets that we all could learn from. Then speaking of international guests, we also had on episode 91, we had Jan Cavell, again, hailing from England. And she talked about the secret to scaling for success. Now, get this. She had a business that she started from her kitchen table.
Wow.
And turned it into a 7-figure business.
Wow.
So, Ted, like you talk about this, you use this like a little metaphor and analogy where if you're locked in the room, can you share? Because that's what I love when you share that, because it really speaks to it. Talk about that whole thing, that approach if you're locked in a room and you have to get out.
Yeah, I think that's the mindset that you have to have in business and in other aspects of life as well, is that you got to act as if you're locked in a room and you have to get out. Like, it's too easy just to, the easiest thing in the world to do is to do nothing. But if you're locked in that room, you have to get out. Like, you can try the simple solution, right? We'll all go and try to see if we can just open the door. But what if that door is locked, right? What are you going to do then, right? You're going to see if you can break through the door. You can see if there's a window that you can go out of, if it's not too high to drop out of. You're going to maybe pick up the phone and call or text somebody to see if they can let you out. But the thing is you're locked in this room and you have to get out. And as a business owner, there's those situations when it's just you, right? Where, other people in the company are waiting for you to make that decision. Right? So whatever it is, if you're in that I'm locked in the room scenario, right? Or if you want to, it's interesting. I had a former employee of mine. I was on a call with her the other day, and she was saying to somebody, she was like, yeah, it's like you have this wall and you just have to get either around it or through it or underneath it or over the top of it. I'm like, wait a second. That sure sounds like the same as the locked in the room, but whatever way it is, you're in that situation that you just have to move forward. You just have to deal with whatever that situation is. And again, I think just with this podcast, we've heard so many stories of people having those locked in the room scenarios, and that they've just been just so creative and innovative to just figure it out, and it's been really motivational and inspirational, I'm sure, to our viewers, but not just our viewers. The good thing about this is a a book that we get to read every week, and just listening to our guests and their situations, and it just and just something for you just to use and to just improve in your life and professional careers and business and what have you.
No, sure. So she talks about how she was on welfare, right? She's on welfare. Her husband left her.
Wow.
So she's divorced. She's got 2 kids. I think both of them were like under the age of 11.
Wow.
And I'm like, how did you do that? How do you build $1 million business from your kitchen table with all of those things? And she's like, you know what? I did it because I had to. That's what she said. It's like, I didn't have any other option. I had to figure that thing out. And that's one of the episodes that stuck with me. And it's like, what if you can put yourself in that state of mind all the time? Like what if everything is going great, but you could put yourself in that state of mind where it's like, I only have this option.
That's it.
If this doesn't happen, I'm going to lose everything. What?
Yeah, that's it. You just got to have that foot on the pedal, no matter what. It's a mindset,
right?
It is a mindset, and I think it happens when it's something you really are passionate about, care about, right? If it's not something you're really passionate about, then it's easy for you just to be like, it's okay being stuck, right? But if it's that business or or that book that you started to write or whatever it is, in those situations, you're going to figure out how to move forward because, failure is not an option, and then in situations like, with that guest is, she's got 2 children, she's a single, kind of the single person to handle that family situation. It was all on her, and those kids were depending on her, so she had to figure it out.
Absolutely. There's a book I've been reading. It's called The Power of Broke. And it's by Damon John. He's one of the sharks. He's on Shark Tank. He's the founder and CEO of Fubu. And that's what he talks about. The whole premise of the book is how when you're desperate or when you're at that point, you're hungrier and you're focused. And the key is to really just embrace that mindset all the time. And I've been reading that, and I'm just trying to apply that to everything I do.
Wow.
Like this just has to happen. That's
Yeah.
right. Yep. Yeah. And think about it. You'll be more likely to take the first step if you feel like you have to take it.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
You have to do it. And just kind of going back to what you were saying about some of our guests, like, Tiffany Deans, that decided to leave her job.
Yep.
And in those situations, I mean, once you make that move, okay, the last thing you want to do is go back, right? Because then you're obviously going to have some people saying, yeah, we knew you'd be back. You should have never left, right?
Oh, yeah.
And when you make those moves, the bills are like, hey, we don't care what you do. We just going to be coming every month, regardless. And if you have your own business, there's some other bills that are going to join into the part. You got to figure it out.
Ted, are you trying to tell me that they don't accept excuses at the bank?
Oh, no. I mean, they may, let you talk to them a little bit, just tell them a little bit about, how you feel and what you're dealing with. And they seem very understanding, and they'll be like, oh, you don't have it this month, so you So next month you'll have it next month, and next month you'll be able to cover this month and next month. Well, probably not. I can't cover this month, so next month I'm gonna probably have some challenges covering this month and next month. But they want you to figure that out, regardless, and you have to. You're up against a wall.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. And again, I mean, we had quite a few. I mean, the Jan was an example that came to mind, but there were quite a few other guests that were in desperate situations. And they had to figure it out, and they found a way to make it happen. So then we had episode number 96, and that was maximizing your minute. Dr. Willie Jolly was our guest, and that was just actually, I'm sorry, I said 90. I think it was episode 86, but yeah, I mean that was a game changer.
Oh yeah,
he had this quote that just stays with me, and I've been saying it. I do, Ted. It's like I always say.
That's right. You and me both have been saying the same quote.
Right. We say it in other settings, and I'm sure Dr. Jolly's gonna come get me at some point here. But here's the quote. He said, after the pandemic, there's gonna be three types of people. There's gonna be billionaires, there's gonna be millionaires, and there's gonna be witnesses.
Wow.
Yeah, that came from Dr. Willie Jolly.
And if you really think about that, billionaires, millionaires, and witnesses. So you're thinking billionaires is going to be anyone, I guess, that's coming up with solutions to, I guess, defend against the virus and protect. Millionaires, I mean, it could be anything. People that came up with PPE or they've just come up with other ways to just pivot in their businesses.
Yep.
And then witnesses, those that are just saying, once the pandemic's over, then I'm going to do this. Everything is going to be on hold until the pandemic is over for those individuals.
Yeah, the witnesses are the ones that are saying, I'm going to wait until things get back to normal.
That's it.
Right. You're witnessing. And it's interesting. If you look at some of the big companies that are Fortune 100, Fortune 500, they're featured in these magazines. Many of them were birthed during some type of crisis. Yeah. I mean, whether it was like the Great Depression, whether it was the financial crisis back in 2008, whether it's this pandemic, but a lot of these highly successful companies started during a downturn.
And people will think that like Zoom is like a new business. Right. These virtual platforms have been around for years. And now, I mean, they're at a level now that it's just crazy. Like I can't even imagine going back to, sitting in, meetings or as many meetings as we've had in the past, face to face.
Yeah, I mean, the game has changed. Now you're doing everything virtually. I'm even thinking like, this movie just came out, Coming to America 2, right? And you may have your thoughts about it, whatever you think about it. But this isn't the platform for us to talk about whether you like the movie or not. But I just think about how literally I can push a button on my computer and watch it. I don't have to get in line. I don't have to find a parking space. And I don't have to do any of those things. Right.
I think about just the week of just things, whether it's church, meetings, family events, virtual parties, like everything that's being done through the computer.
Yep.
Right now, more than ever, through the computer, through your smartphone.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, just I would really think about Dr. Willie Jolly's quote. Billionaires, millionaires, witnesses. There's all kinds of opportunity out there. What can you do? What now? I mean, I think those are the key questions. But now we were certainly inspired by Dr. Jolly's appearance on the show. But yeah, I mean, so that's in a nutshell. We just kind of, there were other great guests. You know, if we didn't mention you, that doesn't mean you weren't a great guest.
Right. We're saving you for the 200th.
Right.
So that's what we're gonna bring it up. But yeah, man, just so many just phenomenal guests and stories. I mean, you know, everybody's talking about, you want to binge watch something on Netflix. What you need to do is binge watch 30-minute hour, like 100, just listen to, watch those shows, and you'll definitely be, glad that you did, because a lot of things that people, you know, challenges that you may be dealing with, someone else has dealt with and has overcome. I mean, we've had people that had financial challenges, health challenges, and challenges, and marriages, and how they were able to take that and use that, just totally, inspirational, motivational of what they were able to do to overcome it.
Absolutely. And so, Ted, one of the things with the show is around the horn, and that's your least favorite part of the show.
Yeah. It makes you have to think.
Right.
Really have to think, and really have to follow behind. Just someone has just dropped just so many boulders of information. I mean, just every week, man, it's just so hard to follow behind some of these guests. Just men, women, different races all over the country. I mean, all over the world, and I just some of those stories that we've heard, man, have just been just tough acts to follow, really.
Yeah, like a couple of times, like I forget I'm actually hosting the show, right? I'm liking their thing.
That's right.
Whoa, that was good. Let me write that. Oh yeah, I'm the host. Let me.
That's right. This feels like it feels like we've been getting, free consulting services, right? Because you sit back and you listen to them. It's just difficult to think that you can come out of some of these sessions and not learn something that you can apply to your own life.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I admit, like I'm a student of the 30-minute hour podcast. Really, I mean, I'll be sometimes I'm in the gym and I'm listening to some of these episodes because I can really focus in when I'm not actually hosting, and I'm like, man, and I know they said it while I was there, but it didn't hit me until
you listen to it a second, third time. Absolutely.
Right. That's why everybody needs to do like you said, and they need to binge listen, and they need to go on do the 30-minute hour marathon. That'll be great.
So Eric, where do you think that we take the show from here? I mean, what do you see?
Well, I just think we're going to have just more international guests, people that are just bringing additional perspectives and just really just getting the message out to more people around the world. I mean, like right now, I mean, we're broadcasting on LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, and we're going to continue to really push the message out there. We're on Spotify, but we really want people to focus on taking the next step and pivoting. And the whole point is really just them being inspired. And like I tell people, we want to have fun, right? Because a lot of times the number one thing the guest says is, "Oh man, you know what? That was so much fun." But at the same time, we want people to feel like they've learned something.
Absolutely.
They took something away that they can actually go back and use and apply. Well, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely think the reach is going to be big. I think just getting more engagement with our viewers to find out what they're interested in, what they'd like to see. So we'd love to hear from you all on the type of subjects that you'd like to hear about. As we're out continuing to consider various guests to bring on the show. Probably a lot more about us individually, as far as some of the things that we've done and are doing, and what makes us I guess you know, at a point that we can have a podcast, right? Why us? Well, because we think we've done some stuff and we want to talk about it, right? That's the good thing, man, about
We
having a
think
podcast.
we have. In our opinion, we have. Right?
That's it. But that's the good thing about having a podcast, right? It's just like, people never invite you to their parties. You have your own party, right? You have your own party, and so just like a podcast, right? Now, who needs to go out here and, try to, get selected to be on someone's show? You start your own show. And the interesting thing about that, Eric, is in starting our own show, we've been invited to so many other shows just from starting our own show.
For sure.
So I think it's going to be a lot more of that, where there's going to be more kind of, collaborations with other podcast shows. I think that's gonna be a big deal for us, moving forward as well.
Now you brought up something interesting, and I think this is probably a good time to do that, because we don't. Most of the time we have a guest, right? With a few exceptions. Every week we've got a different guest, but this time it's just us. So we don't really get to talk about us and our backgrounds. I know that people out there, okay, well, who are you? Why should I be watching this podcast? I need to be watching the Kardashians, and I'm watching this.
That's right.
So Ted, why don't you kind of share with people kind of your background, what you've done, and all that good stuff, just so people can get a feel for that.
Sure, Eric. So, I've been a business owner now for 25 years. My company, New Core Vision, we're an information technology company, servicing mostly the federal government and the private sector as well. And we've supported projects across the country, worldwide, in IT, infrastructure, cybersecurity, and management consulting. Also have done business consulting as a strategist. Have worked with several companies as far as in just the helping them to take their ideas and then be able to kind of launch their businesses and taking their businesses to the next level. Also a part of a company, Next One, that deals with sports and entertainment management. That was a company that was just launched within the past 2-3 years. And so just everything business strategy, like I love that stuff. I love just, being able to sit down with someone and talk about something that they're really passionate about and help them to come up with strategies in order to get those businesses moving. And so there's been so many companies that I've been a part of working with, as far as whether it's from a mentor level or even, just in some type of collaborations as well. So anything business, anything strategy, those are the things that I'm interested in. Those are things that get me going.
Yeah, fantastic. No, I mean, you definitely, run a company for a long time, and you're in an industry where there's a lot of attrition and people fall by the wayside.
Oh man, it's tough, and again, just everything that's happened over the years. A lot of things that I listen to with the different guests that come on the show, and it's like, okay, yeah, I understand it. Yeah, I understand what it's like when you're wondering, how am I going to take care of this payroll issue, or this, this key hire? How do I get this person on? Or this situation's not working out. Like, how do I address that? And it's just, I always tell people, and you've heard me say this a lot of times when it comes to business, it's like, do you want your own business or do you want to make a lot of money? Right? You can make a lot of money working for someone, but having your own business, it's just, everyone's not built for it, Eric. No. Everyone's not built for it. Everybody wants the returns of it, but everybody's not built for it. And, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. I gotta love it, because to a point that several times people say to me, "Well, Ted, you're always working." I'm like, I don't really. Again, you've heard me say this. I don't consider this really work, right? Because it's something I love to do, right? So yeah, definitely. If it's something that you're passionate about doing, and if there's something that we can help you with, right? Please feel free to reach out to us. I mean, we work with several companies within the What Now movement, and if it's not something that we know or can do, we can definitely, get you connected to someone that can.
For sure.
So Eric, tell us about you. I mean, do you have a book or anything like that?
Yeah, Ted, this is something I don't usually mention to people. So this would be a good chance for me to talk about this. So, no, I'm the author of The Discipline of Now, 12 Practical Principles to Overcome Procrastination. And the book was based off of over 28,000 plus coaching sessions that I've done with entrepreneurs and executive leaders. And it's, all of those common things. And it helped me to build a model to help people to overcome procrastination and to become more productive. So the advantage I have, and in addition to that, I've had 500 employees work. I had 17 I was a district manager, and in the automotive space, I had 17 locations, 500 employees working for me at any given time. And one of the things is you see patterns. Right? It's just like on this show. You see, we have so many guests. You deal with so many people. It's like you see patterns. Like the people that are successful, that are just killing it, they do certain things. The people that struggle, they do certain things.
Or don't do certain
things. But it's interesting. You have somebody that gets great results, and you have somebody that gets good results. Most of the time, they know a lot of the same things. Like their knowledge level is similar. The difference is the person that's getting great results, they can make themselves do what they need to do, whether they feel like it or not.
Wow.
That's what I find to be the difference. And that's one of the things why I'm so passionate about helping people to overcome procrastination and really become more productive, because it's hard to take that first step if you're procrastinating, right? If you're just trying to wait, if you're trying to wait, a lot of people are waiting until the ideal scenario.
So have you ever has that ever come back against you? Like if your wife will say something to you and you kind of procrastinated about getting something done. She said, "Let me give you this book."
No, it's funny. I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine, and he was like, "Hey, so Eric, did you sign off on my thing yet?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't done it yet. I'm doing it." And he's like, "Yeah, you know what? I got this great book by this guy, Eric Twig. You should read."
That's right. They put it right back on you.
I'm like, yeah, you got me. Okay.
That's right.
But no, so that's really the key. It's really about moving forward and just becoming more productive. And so I work with people to help along those lines. And I'm president of this group you may have heard of, the What Now movement. And that is really something I think that's just going to help a lot of people, this What Now movement. I'm really excited about the things we've got. We've got a university, and we've got, these posts daily in the What Now movement Facebook group. So just exciting things to come.
Man, it's been a heck of a ride, and episode 100. Now we just start planning towards episode 101. Just got to get ready for 101.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, we have Vanessa Zamey is going to be our guest on episode number 101. And she helps people that they've got, maybe they work full time and they've got a side hustle, something they're doing on the side. She helps them to take that side hustle and make it their main thing. She's really got some good content and good strategies along those lines. So those of you that, you've got your main job, but you're looking to try to take things to that next level and really grow what you've been building on the side, this is definitely a great episode. Vanessa Zamey, she's going to be with us next week for episode number 101. So yeah, I'm telling you, man, I want to take this thing to a whole other level. I've been speaking this in the air, but one way or another, I want Kamala Harris on the show. One way or another, that would be.
Kamala. Tell her, send us a text, call us, email us. Yell loud enough, we'll probably hear you. Just just get at us. We got a link that we want to send you.
Absolutely. No, but I'm inspired by her story and her accomplishments, and That's somebody I think that would be great to have on the pod. Me, I have a daughter, and I think that's just somebody she can look at and say, you know what, here's what's possible.
Phenomenal story. Yeah.
It's a phenomenal story. I mean, I don't care what your political thing is. This isn't a political thing. I'm just talking about the story.
Oh yeah.
So fantastic. So we got Bertha King. She says, congratulations. Shout out to Bertha for following us here. We also got Lori Sanderson. She says, congrats.
Thank you, Lori.
Definitely, we appreciate you watching. We got several people on Instagram that are commenting and joining and all that good stuff. Shout out to those of you who are watching us right now on IGTV. And so Ted, this is normally the part of the show where we go around the horn.
Man, we've been going around the horn the whole show. This has been around the horn show.
Right, this is around the horn show. So I do have something that I want to kind of put out there, because I think it's really been.
You're not going to say that you're leaving to start your own podcast. Don't say, okay, this is the ideal time. No.
No, Ted, that's not what I had in mind.
All right, no surprises, man.
No surprises. So now here's the thing. Like, it seems like there's been just this one theme going through like the 100 episodes, in addition to this idea of getting started. It's mentorship, right? Especially if you look at some of the high level influencers we've had, that's the one thing they always mention. Whether it's Phil Paluccia, whether it's Dr. Willie Jolly, whether it's Jan Cavell, whether it's Chantel Powell, whether it's Monica Cost, Dr. Hattie Washington, some of these great names and great guests we've had, they all talk about mentorship, right? And I think that's one of the things, especially if you're struggling to take that first step, right? If it sounds like it's, I can't take the step, find a mentor, find someone who's already taken the step.
Oh yeah.
Find someone who's 100 episodes in on whatever you're trying to do.
Oh yeah.
That can make taking that next step easier. But I'm telling you, if you listen, when you're doing your 30-minute-hour marathon or listen-a-thon or whatever you want to call it,
that's right.
You're going to hear that word mentorship over and over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah, mentorship and passion.
Yes.
Passion's another one that you'll hear over and over again, right? If it's something that you're passionate about, you're going to keep moving it. You're going to try to get better at it. And as you're trying to get better at it, you're going to go out and try to seek mentors to help you. Because again, every lesson that you learn, you don't have to learn it through going through it yourself. And that's where those mentors are key. But you definitely have to have that passion to take that first step, and second, third, fourth, and then 100th step.
Absolutely. Yep. So cool. So that's the theme. Again, the theme of our show today was really taking that first step. You can't get to the 100th episode until you start the first one. So really think about what you can do to take the first step, who you can call to help you with that. This is truly not your everyday podcast.
Man, no, not at all, man. It's been a pleasure and an honor to share the virtual platform with you for 100 episodes. Well, it wasn't 100, but several episodes, and then we're where we are now. So looking forward to continuing, to build on this. Yeah, build on the momentum.
Yeah, like I said, I learned from you, and it's truly been an honor. You crack me up, you keep me laughing.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad I could do that. And then I guess your preparation is second to none, because I'm telling you, there's some times that you come in with some stuff and I be like, all right, that's my partner. Yeah, man. So appreciate you, man.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Yeah, we're gonna keep it moving. It's gonna be more. We getting it out there on all these different platforms. Like I said, it's not your everyday podcast. You can check us out here on the Facebook page. I mean, now we got the 30-minute-hour LinkedIn. We got YouTube. We got Instagram, the 30-minute an hour on Instagram. And also, again, we got the platforms. You check us out on Spotify and all those other platforms. iHeartRadio, Anchor, wherever you like to get your podcast, we got you covered. If you're an Apple podcast person, we got you there too. Got you covered. That's right.
That's it.
All right. Well, this has been a great episode. Ted, did you have any closing thoughts before we sign off with the people?
No. I think I've been giving my closing thoughts throughout. No, but seriously, we appreciate everyone that has supported us and shared, our podcast, and you all encourage us to continue to do this, and we just thank you for being with us and bearing with us for 100 episodes, and hopefully you'll stick with us as we continue to move forward.
Fantastic. Yep. That's our show for today. Again, you can catch us on those various platforms we just mentioned. Stay tuned for our 101st episode. It's coming at you soon.
That's right.
Until next time, have a great one.